100 years ago, 1922, the first issue of Reader's Digest was published, and the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. was dedicated. And locally, the Morris Performing Arts Center in downtown South Bend opened its doors for the very first time. Today, we're meeting with the current leaders at the Morris to look back at their incredible history, their dedication to equity in the arts, and their big renovations planned for the near future. Today we're at the Morris Performing Arts Center in South Bend, Indiana. And all I have to say is happy birthday! From right here on this stage, over the last 100 years, amazing performances from Frank Sinatra all the way to Broadway performances like Cats and Wicked. Today we're going to be talking to the very people that make all of this possible and what they're doing to bring the Morris into the future. I'm here on the stage of the Morris Performing Arts Center with Mary and Greg Downs, and we're going to be finding out a little more about the history of this amazing place. So could you guys give me some insight?
Sure. The Morris was actually built in 1922 as a vaudeville house, and it was very successful. It was actually coincidentally built during the Spanish flu, believe it or not, and it was very successful for the next 20 years. Big acts like Bing Crosby, Houdini, the Ziegfeld Follies, lots of people performed here. And it was very, very successful until vaudeville began to fall on hard times. It became a movie house, actually, in the 40s. In fact, in 1940, there was a world premiere of the Newt Rockne story, and Ronald Reagan starred in that movie.
Oh, wow.
24,000 people showed up outside the theater just to get a look at Ronald Reagan.
Very cool.
You know, the theater, with the advent of television in the 50s, the theater fell on hard times. And believe it or not, it was going to be demolished in 1959 until Ella Morris stepped in and purchased at the time, the Palace Theater for an undisclosed amount of money and sold it to the city of South Bend for $1.
And at that time, the theater was renamed the Morris Civic Auditorium. It was previously called the Palace. And then there are lots of performers, a lot of musicians, Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Aerosmith, and the Broadway Theater League had lots of Broadway shows here then as well. And then from then, another renovation was done in 1998, and that was with the city and a group of very creative and dedicated citizens raised about $17 million. And they did a renovation and remodeling, and they upgraded the interior of the theater to its original, absolutely glorious.
Yeah, so beautiful.
And that still stands. With the advent of the new projects, we don't have to do anything to the interior of the theater that shows. It's more HVAC and things like that. So,
very cool.
And we were asked to be on the committee, and we have been coming to the Morris for 50 years, and it's been a really big focal point for our entertainment, and we are dedicated to having the future be as welcoming and as wonderful for the next 100 years.
I'm here with Annie Smith for the 100-year celebration at the Morris, and I'm really excited to hear more about your involvement.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the Chief Development Officer for the Venues, Parks, and Arts Department. In that capacity, I oversee the fundraising for the 100-year celebration of the Morris, including our $30 million capital campaign. You know, we've talked about what a jewel this place is in our community and how lucky we are to have it. And something really interesting about the history of this place is that time and time again, it has been kind of saved by citizens and residents of South Bend who just wanted to keep it for the next generation. And that's the chance that we have right now. You know, so many people have their memories of the first time they were here and the big acts that they've seen. And if we can do something right now to ensure not only that the next generation and generations to come can enjoy this place the way that we have, but that more people can, and that they can enjoy it in even a better way and leave South Bend even better, it's a really cool opportunity that we have. So we're hoping that everybody in the community comes and can enjoy this place and be a part of this campaign, and if nothing else, just celebrate 100 magical years of the Morris.
So I know you guys have a lot of events coming up, and I know people in the community are definitely going to want to get involved. So how do they find out about the events and participation?
Yeah, that's great. So we're keeping track of everything on our website, which is www.morris100.org.
I love it.
Lots of events there. We're going to have stuff going on truly until the birthday. And the actual birthday is November 2nd of 2022, but we'll have tours going on and smaller events and smaller concerts, and we're just trying to get the whole community here. So if you haven't been to the Morris, definitely come out for that. If you want a tour, we would love to give you one, and all that information is on our website. The history of this place is, the more you learn, the more you realize what a jewel it is. And it makes this campaign so much more fun to work on, because someday, 200 years from now, people are going to be talking about what we did now. As a part of the campaign, we are going to be doing a lot of really exciting projects and basically remaking a lot of the theater. So the first phase of the project is actually that we are going to be redoing everything you see here. So we're getting new seats, new carpeting, a new curtain, a lot of the cool comfort elements that'll make people who come to the Morris as patrons feel more comfortable, bigger seats. We're going to have places to put drinks down, so people can really enjoy shows more. And that's going to be the first phase of the project. The second project of the campaign is going to be a really exciting building addition. So right out here outside, we're going to be filling in this space, building a parking garage with about 300 spots, but then also a really cool area just for our community to come. We're going to have cool flex space inside, a lounge area, some art areas for different art projects, and a lot of really cool space. And then in addition to that, we're also going to be redoing some of the outdoor elements, making it easier for folks to come and enjoy different shows or performances or things outside of the brick and mortar theater.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so cool. We're here today with Equity of the Arts co-chairs Karima Fowler and Dr. Marvin Curtis, and they're going to be telling us how they're creating equity within the Morris today. So can you guys tell me some of the things you're doing to make this possible?
Well, first we started with a survey of the community. So the committee got together with several questions, and we went to all 4 parts of South Bend and talked about what does equity in the arts mean to people, and how the Morris can be more equitable in terms of how they present shows, how they appear in the community, and how people can come down to the Morris.
What we would like to do is ensure that there's equity, and people, in particular minorities, are getting exposure to the arts, because they haven't always had exposure and haven't always had access. And so what are some unique ways that we can ensure that that happens?
Also, we asked about barriers to the Morris. How do you feel about coming to the Morris? What barriers are there that will prevent you from coming to the Morris? Have you been to the Morris? The Morris is a city-owned facility. It's a big space. It's 2,700 seats. A lot of people who've never been inside the building because it's intimidating. And so part of what we wanted to find out was how to make it less intimidating, but also how do you feel about the shows being presented? We discovered in our research that 88% of the artists at the Morris are white, but the city is 41% minority.
We looked at other things around equity too. So we looked at demographics, ethnicity, we looked at disabilities, you know, you name it. So there's a lot of different things we looked at. As far as demographics, we looked at younger people with families. If shows are at a certain time of day, would that prevent them from being able to see a show or come to a show? We looked at age. We looked at other barriers such as transportation. The other thing that we recognize too, from a diversity standpoint, is how are we getting out and reaching them and meeting people where they are and giving them exposure. And we know that exposure in arts in particular for kids, most of the kids that are in arts, we find that they do better in school with their grades. So we want to be able to give them that exposure because we know it will create opportunities. And we are so excited about what's going on with the Morris. We want to ensure that the whole community is involved and can enjoy
the new Morris.
I love the way all those things are just going to enhance the community so much and just bring so much more life, especially for the kids, that they can grow up and be a part of the Morris and participate and maybe even find future careers here.
And that's
incredible.
The ultimate goal, to create that exposure, but we don't want it to be like a one-time thing. We want it to be embedded, where they know that, you know, this is the Morris, and kids know that these opportunities exist.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming and telling us so much about your plan, and I am so excited about seeing everything you're doing for the community and the Morris. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. So what are some of the ways that community could get involved or be a part of this development?
Yeah, absolutely. So throughout this entire year, we're going to be celebrating. This is a 100-year birthday party. So we're going to have different events throughout the entire summer. We're going to have a really big birthday party at the end of the year, right before this opens again, to have people come. And then, of course, we would love the community to get involved from a donor perspective. And so all of those details are up on our website at morris100.org. And we would love everyone to take part, whether it's coming to see a show or celebrating with us at the birthday party, or by, you know, buying a brick and being a part of the campaign.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I love all those options that people can get involved.
Tons of them.
And I personally would like to join in and come see some shows and be a part of it. So thank you so much for coming, Annie, and I love everything you've been doing and all your hard work to preserve this place.
Thank you.
Well, happy birthday to the Morris. Happy birthday. I had such a fun time celebrating the 100th year birthday party of the Morris today. I hope you guys can join the fun by going to their website and checking out all the amazing things coming up and join in on the celebration.